to the Hello World guide. This is another episode of the Python game series in which we are making our Pong game, and in this video we are going to make our ball change direction accordingly when it hits a player or something like the top of the screen or something. So we want it to change the direction in the correct way, so that is what we are going to be implementing in this video. So if you remember, in the last video we created this intersect function, and now our ball can detect the collisions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change it so that we set the ball direction dot x variable to 1 here, and the by the way, the reason we are doing this is because we want to set the x and y separately, and this will just allow us to be a lot more concise. So the x will set to 1, and for the y value, this is what we need to calculate. For this, the effect that I am going for is that if the ball hits the edge, for example like the edge of the pedal, then it should have a higher y speed, so it should its angle should be more changed towards up, and if it hits like the lower corner, then it should be going down, and if it hits something somewhere in between, it should be interpolated accordingly. For that we can do it pretty simply. We'll say ball direction dot y is equal to p1 dot rect dot center y minus the ball y. We'll actually subtract the ball y from this that we have calculated, and then we will divide that by our player height and divide that by 2. I'll copy and paste that code for player 2. We'll change this to player 2 rect, and also make the ball direction -1. What this will do now, let's try to understand this line of code. And by the way, we need to make this I'll just add brackets here just to kind of clear it up. So what we do is we first calculate the offset that the ball hit it at. So we just take the ball's y position, and then we subtract we subtract it from the player 1 rectangle's center y position, and what that ensures is that our ball, when it hits the edges, it moves more towards up or down. So if it hits in the center, it will be less effect, and of course we want this to be we want to get a value between 0 and 1, so we divide that by the half of the player height, and similarly we do it inside of player 2. Now if I were to go ahead and run this, actually there is a bit of a problem. I'm going to have to change the order of operators here. So let's go ahead and press Alt to edit, do multiple edit here, and I'm going to subtract this, remove this, and we'll have to subtract the center y from the ball due to how our coordinate system is. We'll need to have it in the other order. Anyways, now let's go ahead and test this, and what you can see is that the ball hits the player. Currently it's just going same, and if I make my player a bit down, it hits on the edge and now it goes up. Awesome. So that's pretty cool, and the reason that it of course went out of the screen is that we don't have anything to stop the ball from leaving the screen, so we need to figure out a way to do that as well. Now limiting the ball here is very simple. What we need to do is we need to just check if the ball y minus the ball size, because the ball y represents the center, is less than 0, or the ball y plus the ball size is greater than the screen height. If any of this is true, we'll just invert the ball's y direction. And another thing we'll need to do is we'll need to normalize the ball vector by calling normalized IP. The reason we need to do that is because if we don't, then when the ball hits it, it will be faster sometimes and the slower on when it hits in the center. Well, I want it to only change the direction and not the speed, so we'll need to normalize this vector, and this IP means that it will actually normalize it in place, and will change this ball direction vector. And you can, of course, if you want the speed of the ball to change when it hits the edges, then you can leave these two lines out, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm going to also change the speed of the ball to 750 perhaps, because 700 seems a bit slow, and let's go ahead and try that out. And what you can see is that it does work, and when the ball hits the lower part, it does collide off it, and it does look like we have got a bit of a Pong game. Of course, it currently does not collide with the left and right, because those are supposed to account for when the game is over and not, so we'll need to handle those two. But you can see that apart from that, most of it is working, and the ball is able to do everything correctly. Awesome. So yeah, that is pretty cool, and this is pretty much it for this video. I'll see you in the next one, in which we will implement more stuff, so stay tuned for that. And in the next video we are going to actually figure out a way to kind of handle scoring and different kinds of stuff for our player. So do stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe as well, and bye.